Ace is high, and deuce is low. Call it right, and you will win the dough on the Card Sharks Tournament of Champions. And here's your host of Card Sharks, Jose Cazares. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Tournament of Champions for Season 1 of Card Sharks here on the Sleepy Time Studios. We're so glad to have you back here with us tonight. Folks, this is it. We've got our top 8 highest scores from the regular season back to battle it out in a tournament to see who will have the right to call themselves the Season 1 champion. And boy, I gotta say, we got some very interesting matchups for our tournament here. Alright, so with that being said, we're gonna get started with our first of 4 quarterfinal matches. So let's go ahead and meet our first 2 competitors. First, playing in the red position, he comes in as the number 4 seed with a season total of $49,400. We welcome back Christopher Hammond. Well, Chris, first and foremost, I gotta say, towards the end of the regular season, you made an incredible comeback to get into the middle of the pack in the top 8. Because at one point you were, I think you were the bubble boy number 8, but then you got some amazing wins on the money cards and ended up pulling up a comeback.
Yep.
But here you are now. Do you think that you'll be able to punch your ticket to the semifinals?
I hope so. I kind of hope so, to be honest.
Well, hey, you never, even in the tournament, you never know what these cards could do.
That's true.
But either way, I wish you the best of luck here. And your opponent, coming in at the number 5 seed, with a season total of $37,500, we welcome back Brandon Hingle.
Thank you, Jose. It's so good to be here.
Hi, Hingle.
Well, Brandon, I gotta say this. You kicked off our regular season with a bang as you pulled up 4 wins and had some impressive rounds in terms of both the main game and the money cards for yourself.
I sure did.
After episode 4, you were at number 1, but unfortunately the other competitors just ended up bringing you down, but you were still at number 5.
Yep, that's what counts.
So here you are now. Do you think that
That's
you
right.
have what it takes to punch your ticket to the semifinals?
Well, I'll give it all I can do. It's just like Yu-Gi-Oh always says, it's the heart of the cards.
Hey, that couldn't be better said. I mean, in the regular season alone, they have proven to be pretty harsh to our players, so chances are it'll be the same here. So I wish you the best of luck as well.
Thank you, Jose. I'll give it all I can do.
Alright, well, best luck to you both, and now here's how this works. There are no money cards here. We are only going to be playing the main game in our tournament. The first one of you to win 2 rounds out of 3 will not only win the match, but will move on to the semifinal round. The runner-up will get a consolation prize of $10,000 for making it this far. But other than that, the main game plays the same way that it has in the regular season. Now, Chris, since you have the higher seed, you'll be playing the red cards, and Brandon, you'll be playing the blue. With that said, let the tournament begin as we start our first round. And Chris, you will get the first question. Here we go.
Okay.
Alright, Chris, we asked 100 first graders. Do stairs turn into escalators if you plug them in?
Accelerators, okay, no.
How many of those first graders said that they do?
Honestly, escalators in your house, that would be something a lot of people would want. Let's go about 53.
Alright, he says 53 out of 100 believe that stairs do turn into escalators. Brandon, higher or lower than 53?
I think that might be just a tad lower.
Says lower than that. Alright. The actual number of first graders who believe that stairs turn into escalators if you plug them in is 42. It is lower. You gotta understand, those first graders have a wild imagination sometimes. Alright.
True.
Brandon, you've got control of the cards. Let's see your opening base card. You have a 5.
Okay, I'll keep that card. That's a good card. I'll keep that card and go higher.
Alright, keeping it going higher than the 5, it's a 7.
Please!
And he is playing it safe, taking the 1 card advantage and keeping Chris away from his cards. Alright, that brings us now to our second question of the round, and we are over to Brandon for this one. Oh boy. It's interesting, but it's not the bad kind of interesting. Hingle, we asked 100 high school teachers. Have you ever had a student you think is smarter than you? How many of those high school teachers said that they had?
That is a good question right there. I have to admit. You know, I think that might be relatively kind of low. I'm thinking maybe about 24.
Alright, he says 24 out of 100 have had a student like that. Chris, higher or lower than 24?
How often will you find that? That's kind of rare in my opinion. I'll say a tiny bit higher.
Alright, he says higher than that. The actual number of high school teachers who have ever had a student that they think is smarter than them is 41. It is higher. Alright, so Chris, you've got control of cards for the first time. Let's see your opening base card. You have a 10. Now remember, you can change it if you wish.
I'll go lower.
You're keeping the 10?
Yes.
Alright, keeping it going lower than the 10. Oh no, it's a king!
Oh, dang.
So you make no progress there, and that means Brandon gets a free chance to play off the 7.
Okay, let's go higher.
Higher than the 7, it's a 10.
Lower.
Going for it lower than the 10. Oh no, it's an ace! You lose both of those cards, go back to the 7. Nobody, unfortunately, makes any progress. And on we go to our third question, and we are back to Chris for this one.
Okay.
Okay. This one may spark some controversy here.
Oh boy.
Chris, we asked 100 people on a diet. I don't know why, but my throat does not want to work with me for this. Alright. We asked them, have you ever snuck and eaten food in the bathroom so you wouldn't get caught cheating on the diet?
Excuse me?
How many of those 100 people on a diet said that they had?
Excuse me? Kind of weird and pretty interesting strategy. Not gonna lie. Honestly, I really hope that some of those people doesn't do that. I'll say about 45.
Alright, he says 45 out of 100 have done this mischievous act. Brandon, higher or lower than 45?
I hope that's lower. Eating food in the bathroom? That's just nasty, in my opinion.
Alright, well, let's find out then. The actual number of people on a diet who have snuck and eaten food in the bathroom just so they wouldn't get caught cheating on the diet is 21. It is lower. Yeah, I'm about to say, not many of those people would be that sneaky anyway. Alright, Brandon, you've got control, and you have that 7 that you can change.
I love 7s, but I do not like it in card tricks. I'd like to change that card, please. Bye-bye, 7.
Alright, changing it to 7 goes away, and we replace it with a 6.
A little better. Higher.
Higher than the 6? Oh no, it's a 5! Oh, they are being stingy even in the tournament. No progress made, and that means Chris gets a free chance to play off the 10.
Well, let's try this again. Lower.
Lower than the 10. It's an 8.
I'm gonna freeze.
Freezing it at the dirty snowman. That puts us at a tie situation. Oh my god, what is wrong with my throat here? Alright, so that puts us at a tie situation going into our fourth and final question. And we, of course, know that this still applies. It is sudden death. Somebody has to win on this final play of the cards. The question goes to Brandon. Another long one here, so pay attention, players. Brandon, we asked 100 people who work in human resources. Have you ever changed your mind about hiring someone after looking at their Facebook page? How many of those HR people said that they had?
I'm thinking about 44.
Alright, he says 44 out of 100. Chris, higher or lower than 44?
But when you think about it, there's going to be some people in the HR department that will look into social media before hiring people. Why? I will never know. I'll say just maybe a tiny bit higher.
Alright, he says higher. For all important control of the cards, the actual number of people who work in HR that have changed their mind about hiring someone after looking at their Facebook page is 71. It is higher. Alright, so Chris, you've got the decision.
Yeah.
Now, you have an 8, and Brandon has a 6, but keep in mind, you can't change it. Either way, you both need to run the next 3 cards correctly. What do you want to do?
Good luck, Brandon.
Alright, he's going to give control to Brandon, so Hingle, you've got to play off that 6 and call these next 3 cards correctly. One wrong move, and Chris takes round 1.
Okay. Higher.
Higher than the 6. It's an ace.
Lower.
Lower than the ace. It's a 9.
Lower.
For round number 1. Lower than the 9. No, it's an ace. Chris takes round 1. Oh, Brandon, that was a heartbreaker there. You were that close to picking up the first round, but unfortunately that ace denies you, and that means Chris takes the first round of the match. And if Chris wins one more, he is through to the semifinals. Alright, so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and clear the board and get things ready for our second round. Alright, of course we know second round, same as the first. This time we're going to start with Brandon for our first question. Alright, so here we go. Alright, Brandon, here we go. We asked 100 people. Do you think some people have the ability to communicate with the afterlife? How many of those people said yes?
I'm thinking, like if they're spiritual or something like that, like mediums, you know. I'm thinking maybe about maybe 54.
He says 54 out of 100. Chris, higher or lower than 54?
I'm gonna say lower.
Alright, he says lower than that. The actual number of people who do think that some people have the ability to communicate with the afterlife is 11. It is lower. Huh, pretty interesting there. Alright. So, Chris, you get control of the cards for the first time, and let's see your opening base card. You start off with a 6.
5x6.
Alright, changing it, the 6 goes away, and we replace it with a Jack.
Okay, that's better. Let's go lower.
Lower than the Jack. It's a 7.
Higher? Question mark?
You're going for it?
Yes.
Alright, going for it. Higher than the 7. It's a 9.
Okay, I'm gonna freeze right there.
Alright, freezing it right there, taking the 2-card advantage and keeping Brandon away from his cards. And Chris only needing 2 more cards to move on to the semifinals. Alright. Now we go to our second question of the round, and we are over to Chris for this one. Alright. Oh my god. Alright, Chris. We asked 100 pregnant women. Have you ever used morning sickness as an excuse to get out of something? How many of those pregnant women said that they had?
Well, I mean, it technically is an excuse. It technically is a legit excuse, but there are some bitter men that don't want to understand that. Why, I don't know. I'm gonna say about 60.
You said 60?
Correct.
Alright, he says 60 out of 100 would use this excuse. Brandon, higher or lower than 60?
Lower.
Says lower than that. Alright, the actual number of pregnant women who have ever used morning sickness as an excuse to get out of something is 50 in the middle. It is lower. Alright, Brandon, you have control of the cards for the first time this round. Let's see your opening base card. You have a 7.
Yuck. Change, please.
Alright, changing it, the 7 goes away, and we replace it with a Jack.
Beautiful. Lower.
Lower than the Jack, it's an 8.
Please. Please.
Alright, freezing it right there, the Dirty Snowman, and he keeps Chris away from his cards. Playing a little strategy here as we go to our third question of the round, and we are back to Brandon for this one. Alright, Brandon, we asked 100 married people. Have you ever argued with your spouse about which way the toilet paper roll should go? Quite the issue to argue about. How many of those married people admitted that they had?
I'll say that's around about 32.
Says 32 out of 100. Chris, higher or lower than 32?
Out of all the topics that a married couple would argue about, that toilet paper, oh boy, I will never understand people. I'll say higher.
Says higher than that. Alright, the actual number of married people who have ever argued with their spouse about which way the toilet paper roll should go is 40. It is higher. Again, I honestly can't even believe couples can argue about an issue like that.
I know.
Alright, Chris, you got control, and you have that 9.
Bye, 9.
Alright, gonna change it. The 9 goes away, and we will replace it with a 5.
Okay, that's a little better. Let's go higher.
Higher than the 5, it's a Jack.
Lower for the win?
To move on to the semifinals, lower than the Jack. It's an 8. Chris is on to the semifinals. Congratulations, Chris. You are officially through to the semifinals. In just a couple episodes, we will see you then. We unfortunately have to say goodbye to a heck of a player in Brandon Hingle, but Brandon, unfortunately, you made a valiant effort to get to this point, but unfortunately, Chris just shut you out.
Yep, he did. But I'm okay with that.
Those cards, unfortunately, were harsher to you than they were to Chris. But you still have fun with us regardless.
Of course I did. I always have fun.
Alright, well, like I said, anyone that's a runner-up in the quarterfinals will get a consolation prize of $10,000, so we add that to your season total, and you leave us here on Card Sharks with a final total of $47,500. We thank you for playing this season.
And I thank you for having me, and I can't wait to be back again next season for Card Sharks. And I'll definitely come for you, Cards. I'm coming for you. Chris, good luck in the rest of the tournament. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
You deserve it. Well played.
Thank you.
Alright, well that is Brandon Hingle, and folks, we now have our first semifinalist. Christopher Hammond is through, but when we come back from this commercial break, we will have 2 more quarterfinalists as they go for the second spot in the semifinals. We'll be right back after this here on the Card Sharks Tournament of Champions. Stay with us. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Card Sharks Season 1 Tournament of Champions. We just saw our first competitor, Chris Hammond, punch his ticket into the semifinals, so we have one semifinalist so far. We still are in the search for 3 more. Now we got our next 2 players here who are going to battle it out as they hope to take the second semifinal spot. And we've got quite the matchup here. We have the number 1 seed taking on the number 8 seed. So let's go ahead and meet them both. First up, our number 1 overall seed. He became our first retired champion in the regular season and has a very impressive total of $53,250. We welcome back Will Medina.
This stage again. Alright, let's go.
Well, Will, first and foremost, as mentioned, you became our first retired champion in the regular season. You were able to pull off 5 wins in a row. And you were able to guarantee yourself a spot here. You're back here now. Do you think that you'll be able to punch your ticket to the semis?
Depends on the cards.
That's pretty much been the case for this entire regular season, and it will continue on here going forward. But so I wish you the best of luck here tonight. And now the number 8 overall seed. He was able to hang on because Russ was trying to make a push to be in the top 8. He was the bubble boy, but unfortunately, a loss from Russ resulted in him being secured a spot at number 8. With a season total of an even $22,000, we welcome back Laurence McNeil.
Where are we going?
Well, Laurence, like I said, I mean, you were on the brink of not even being here. Russ was making a push. He was at number 9. Had he not lost that matchup, you would have more than likely been eliminated.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised I actually still made it in the top 8. So that alone is an achievement. So thank you for having me.
Well,
this far.
Well, you certainly have made it this far. Do you think that good luck of yours will continue on here in the tournament?
Well, again, as well said, depend on the luck of the cards. But either way, win or lose, I'm so glad to at least have a chance to play this season and actually get as far as I did. So let's see what happens.
All right, well, best luck to both of you. This is going to be quite the matchup. So let's go ahead and get this started. Now, of course, like I said, only the main game will be played. There will be no money cards. The first one of you to win 2 games wins the match and advances to the semifinals. The other will get a consolation prize of $10,000 in cash for just qualifying for this tournament. Alright, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into our first round here with our first question. Now, of course, Will, since you're the top seed, you're going to be playing the red cards. Laurence, you'll be playing the blue. And the first question goes to Will. Alright, Will, we asked 100 people, have you ever had a dream that was so funny, you woke up laughing? How many of those people said yes?
Sorry about that. I was just answering my house. Can you repeat that, please?
Certainly. We asked 100 people, have you ever had a dream that was so funny, you woke up laughing? How many of those people said yes?
There's like 1,000 faces of nails on pillows and blankets. I think I would have probably
Wow. Tells how you really feel.
I think it's gonna be a Robert. Let's go. I'm gonna be so 50. I'm gonna leave it in the middle.
You're going in the middle with 50?
Yeah.
Wow, already we have someone playing the dead center trap card. Laurence, higher or lower than 50?
Oh, I mean, on see that in but I don't know lower than that.
Going lower?
Yeah.
Alright. The actual number of people who have ever had a dream that was so funny that they woke up laughing is 45. It is lower. Barely lower. I'll be honest, I've never had that happen to me, but I honestly would not like to wake up laughing. Alright, but I digress. Laurence, you got control of the cards for the first time, and let's see your opening base card. You start off with the Dirty Snowman.
Yeah. Jeez. I mean, are we getting a winner early already, eh? Let's change and melt that Dirty Snowman.
Of course, you won the question, so you have the right to do so. The 8 goes away, and we replace it with another A. My God!
Jesus, help us all. Well, apparently winner is apparently here to stay then. Anyways, let's go lower.
Lower than the 8. It's a deuce!
Okay, higher.
Higher than the 2, it's a queen.
Lower.
Lower than the queen, it's a 7.
Let's freeze.
And just like that, Laurence needs only one more card to pick up the first round. And he also keeps Will away from his cards. Alright, well, looks like the top seed is going to have to start trying to play catch-up here, but we're just getting started. On to our second question, and this one goes to Laurence.
Alright.
Alright, Laurence, we asked 100 sanitation workers. Have you ever received a Christmas present from someone on your route? How many of those sanitation workers said that they had?
Well, it'd be very rare to actually get someone that generous to send you a gift, especially from your route. But, let's go a little above the middle and say 55.
Alright, he says 55 out of 100. Will, higher or lower than 55?
So it doesn't come with the brown bag surprise?
Oh, God!
Jesus Christ.
Well, hey, it's 100 sanitation workers, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
well, that is true.
Uh,
Still, though.
God.
but it also depends on the route. If they're nice, not named Mark, I guess we'll be okay. But I don't. I think this is lower because they're not that nice. I'm gonna say it's a little lower.
Alright. Let's find out. The actual number of sanitation workers who have ever received a Christmas present from someone on their route is 72. It is not lower. You gotta understand, these sanitation workers, their job is a lot tougher than you think, so there are some people that are generous to those people. Alright, but Laurence, a very interesting situation for you. You have control and you have that 7.
Change it.
Alright, potentially important change here. The 7 goes away and we replace it with a 4.
Higher.
For game 1 of the match, higher than the 4. It's a 5, he's got it! And the number 8 seed starting to potentially make an upset here. Laurence up 1-0. But Will, you very well know that these deficits can easily be overcome. You've come back from these deficits before. Let's hope that this is the case here. Let's go ahead and clear the board and get ready for our second round. Alright, second round, of course, same as the first. And this time, the player playing the blue cards gets the first question in this round. So, Laurence, we start with you for this one.
Alright.
Laurence, we asked 100 office workers. Do you ever act busy in front of your boss when you really don't have a thing to do? How many of those office workers admitted that they have done this?
Oh, I do this at work. I do this at work now.
Oh, okay, so you're confessing this then. Fair enough.
Yeah, because it's really nothing to do. But when my boss around had to stay looking busy, but I would say around like uh 75, 75, yeah.
Alright, he says 75 out of 100 have done this. Well, higher or lower than 75?
So playing solitaire at my office desk, that counts as a job. 6 years boredom. But I like Marcy's number, but we do have those blue collar workers. They'll sit there and for themselves. You gotta say a little lower.
Alright, says lower than that. The actual number of office workers who do ever act busy in front of their boss when they really don't have a thing to do is 63. It is lower. Not gonna lie, I have done it once or twice, but I don't really do it that often because in my job there's always something to do. And that's honestly the way it should be. Alright, so Will, you've got control of the cards for the first time. Let's see your opening base card. You start off with a 10.
Oh great, happy joy.
You can
Stay
change
out
it
of
if
my
you like.
wheelhouse. Yeah, that's what we do. We could just use that 10.
Alright, so you're gonna change it?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, changing it, the 10 goes away. The throat's going at it again. And we replace it with a jack.
Alright, little, just a tiny bit better. Lower.
Lower than the jack. Oh no, it's a king! Unfortunately, no progress made there. And that means Laurence gets a free chance to play off his base card of a jack as well.
Lower.
Lower?
Yes.
Lower than the jack? It's a 9.
Okay then. Higher.
He's going against the odds. Higher than the 9. No, it's a deuce. Try to make a gutsy move there. Didn't work out. Nobody makes any progress. And that brings us now to our second question of the round. And this one goes to Will. Oh my god. I think it's destiny that Will gets a question like this.
Let's hear it first.
Alright, well, I think you're going to have a field day with this one. Here it is. We asked 100 sports fans.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, we asked them, did you participate in a fantasy football league last season? How many of those sports fans said that they had? I love it.
Okay, first of all, this is a relevant question since I play every year with some of the guys upstairs.
No, I know.
And
That's why I said you could have a field day with this.
This is a high number, but depending on the number. I'm going to go 76 on this one.
Alright, he says 76 out of 100. Laurence, higher or lower than 76?
Lower.
Alright, he says lower than that. Alright, the actual number of sports fans who did participate in a fantasy football league last season is 43. It is lower.
Oh dear.
That number actually legitimately surprises me.
Hell, I'm thinking it's going to be at least 71, but
that's what the card says.
Jesus.
Alright. So, Laurence, you've got control. You have that jack.
Well, let's try this again and go lower.
Lower than the jack. It's a 10.
Hey, Faye. Going on where this led me the first time. Well, let's go the other way. Lower.
Alright, going lower than the 10. Oh no, it's a queen, and that time you should have gone against the odds. Ugh. Cards are not liking you this round. And that means Will gets a free chance to play off his jack.
Oh wow! I barely went to get some water. Okay. Since the first lower,
Lower than the jack. It's a 3.
higher.
Higher than the 3. It's a 7.
Let's freeze on that hangman hook, shall we?
Alright, freezing it right there on the 7. Needing only 2 cards to tie up the match. Alright. Third question of the round, and we are back to Laurence for this one. Alright. Oh my goodness, this one's really pushing the details here. Alright. Laurence, we asked 100 single women from Los Angeles.
Well then, very specific.
Yeah, I know. That's why I mean on the detail. Have you ever gone out with a guy who was wearing more jewelry than you? How many of those single women from LA said that they had?
There are some guys that are like that, but you know, I'm not exactly sure, but let's go with 52.
Not quite going with the trap card, but still going up the middle, around that mark with 52. Alright, Will, higher or lower than 52?
Question, I was talking to my wife.
Alright, here it is. We asked 100 single women from Los Angeles. Have you ever gone out with a guy who was wearing more jewelry than you? Laurence believes that 52 of them had. Higher or lower than that?
Is it fake jewelry or is it Kardashian jewelry?
Oh,
Because we're going to simplify this sooner or later.
God. I mean, I don't know.
It's a jewelry question, right? I mean, diamonds, pearls, bronze, gold, silver. I mean, you got a lot of category up there.
I
think
get you.
Laurence is up to something. Laurence is up to something with that 50, but the way that they portray people, I'm going to guess, I'm going to just say just slightly higher. I mean, guys like to show off, so I'm going to say higher.
Alright, well, let's see. The actual number of single women from Los Angeles who have ever gone out with a guy who was wearing more jewelry than them is...
Higher.
38, it is not higher!
Oh, so a cracker jack box. Well,
Alright. So, Laurence, you get control once again, and you have that jack yet again.
The shack is more confusing and, well, anyways. Lower.
Trying it again, lower than the jack. Oh no, it's an ace! My God, they are really hating you. Considering that you were able to win the first round so easily, the cards are trying to tell you, I think they're trying to give you a hidden message here. So again, Laurence doesn't make any progress, and that means Will gets a free chance to play off the 7.
I don't like the 7 nor the 8s or 9s when it comes to this game, but I'm going to go against the brain. I'm going to go higher.
Alright, going higher than the 7. No, it's a 4! So neither player making any progress here. Let's see. And I believe we are now at our 4th and final question of the round. So it is sudden death, so somebody's got to win on this next play of the cards. We're in a very interesting situation here, and the question goes to Will. Are you freaking kidding me? This is the kind of question we get next? I mean, I'm honestly afraid to ask it, but here we go. Will, we asked 100 people, are you wearing underwear or are you going commando?
Oh, dear
How many of those people said that they were going commando? Oh my god, we end the round with this!
An underwear question, huh? Wow. He's speechless. I don't know if I should give a number or give Bergman the sponsor. 53. I was gonna say 53. I'm so stuck with this, but I'll say 53.
Alright, he says 53 out of 100 are going commando. Laurence, higher or lower than 53? As I drop my phone.
Whoever wrote that question, just why? And anyway, go higher.
You say even higher than that. Alright. Alright, let's find out then. The actual number of people who, when asked if they were wearing underwear going commando, they said they were going commando is, thank God this one's going to end soon, 22. It is not higher. Honestly, that number is a good thing. Alright, Will, you've got a very interesting decision here. You have a 7 that you can you can change. You would have to go through 2 cards. If you make even one mistake, Laurence is through to the semifinals. However, you have control. You can force Laurence to play off the jack. He would need to sweep the board to take the match. If he even makes one wrong move, we have a tie game. It's your decision. What do you want to do?
Oh, this was the final question?
Yep, that was the 4th question.
Oh, that was 4th. I'm gonna play. Laurence has fun. Try to sweep the board. I'm gonna pass.
All right, Laurence. If you want to go to the semifinals, you're gonna have to run this entire board. One wrong move, and Will ties up the match. Call this jack.
With my luck in this round, let's find out. Oh boy, lower.
Lower than the jack. It's a 7.
Oh jeez. Higher.
Higher than the 7. No, it's a 3. We have a tie game. Oh man, Will making the right call there. And just like that, we are tied. And we're going to have to go to a tiebreaker to determine a semifinalist here. So let's go ahead and get the board ready for that. Alright, the tiebreakers work the same as they have in the regular season as well. 3 cards and only 1 question. The player in the red position gets the question, so Will, this one is yours. Alright.
Yep.
Wow. Well, this one isn't about underwear, but I'm surprised this one was asked. Will, we asked 100 dads. Have you ever had your nails painted? How many of those dads said that they had?
I need a drink before I can give you enough. This is another. I wouldn't touch this question if artistry took over the world, but man. Well, there's fathers that have daughters, and they'll let them paint their nails because they want to be good fathers. On the other token, you just got those type of fathers that wouldn't even deal with it. No, I'm not gonna trap card Laurence on this one. I'll just say 42, just because of the ratio. So I'll go 42.
42?
Yes.
All right, he says 42 out of 100. Laurence, higher or lower than 42?
I would go just a hair higher because, well, there's really good fathers out there that would let their daughters sing. Why the hell not? But
All right. Well, let's go ahead and find out. For vital control of the cards, the actual number of dads who have ever had their nails painted is 44. It is slightly higher.
well,
All right. Lawrence, the decision is gonna be yours. As always, we're gonna start by revealing both of your base cards. God, why do I keep doing that? Jeez. Keep giving control instead of revealing it. I keep hitting the wrong frickin' button. Let's try this again. Will has an 8. And you have a queen. Now remember, Will cannot change the 8. This is a very interesting setup here, Laurence. Do you want to keep control or force Will to play off that 8?
I come a long way. So if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out swinging. So let's go.
You're going to play it yourself.
Yep.
All right. Taking matters into his own hands, would you like to change the queen?
No, I would not.
All right, so you got to call these 2 cards correctly. Make one mistake, and Will is through to the semis.
All right. Well, either way, win or lose, GG. Lower.
Going lower than the queen. No, it's a king! Will is through to the semis! Oh my goodness! Congratulations, Will. You are going to be moving on to the semifinals to join Chris Hammond. We will wrap things up here in just a moment. But first, we have to say goodbye here to Laurence. But before we talk about what happened here, Laurence, I have to know. Will had an 8. Why did you keep control for yourself?
Well, because it could have went one or two ways. Because Will possibly could have swept the board, even with potentially an 8. Because you know how the luck of the draw is, and I was thinking the card was gonna turn out decently well in my hands with the card I had, but apparently not. So,
well, let's put you out of your misery here real quick. So, Will, we're gonna play the what if game here. Had Laurence passed control to you, you would have had to call the 8. What would you have called?
I was talking to Angel. Let's see. I was on the even. I probably would have went lower.
You would have went lower. It would have been a 6.
And I probably would have went all in going higher.
And you would have lost.
Mm.
So it was set up for the opponent to win, to whoever played it. But wow, Laurence, either way, you tried taking matters into your own hands with a good card. It just did not work out. But you still have a good time with us here.
Yep, I did. I appreciate you for having me on during the season, and hopefully I'll be back on. During next season. I'm trying to be back again.
All right. Well, like I said, just for making it this far, we're gonna give you $10,000 as a consolation prize. So your final season total here on Card Sharks is an even $32,000. And earning it this way is better than answering the 10th question on Millionaire.
Oh boy.
But either way, Laurence, we thank you for playing, and we hopefully look forward to having you back next season, like you said.
Okay, I look forward to it.
All right, well, that is Laurence McNeil, and Will, you have done it. You are on your way to the semifinals, so we will hopefully be seeing you then.
Yeah. Okay, well, Lawrence, good game. I thought I would have lost this one. I thought it was going to be the upset of the season.
All right, well, we'll see you then. But folks, that is going to wrap things up here for our first episode of the quarterfinal matches on the Tournament of Champions. And when we see you on our next show, we're going to have our final 4 competitors battle it out in 2 more matches for 2 more spots in the semifinals. Who will join Will and Chris? Hammond. You'll have to find out next time. But until then, and until the Tournament of Champions continues on, I'm your host, Jose Cazares, and we'll see you next time for more of the Card Sharks Tournament of Champions. Good night, everybody.